So, hello YouTube, welcome back to another market outlook video. So, I hope you guys are doing very good. I hope you guys had an incredible month of June. I think this is I think the next week will be the last week of the month of June. So, I hope you guys had an incredible month of June. This for me personally, this was one of the best months I've ever had in trading. It's just been week after week, just consistent bangers, right? And all these trades that I take, I also send on the group beforehand for the students. So the idea of, I believe that the idea of like a group, right, a mentorship, is just not it's not just about giving the material, but also to take the trades with the students, show them how I execute my trades. When I lose, we lose together. When we win big together. So that's been that's exactly what's been happening on the group, right? So let's just get into the video. So before I actually get into the video, guys, I just want to let you guys know that I'm giving a 50% discount and it will end on the next week, right, next Friday. So if you guys are interested on the mentorship as well as the signals, because I also share signals on the group, if you want to pass your prop firms, with the signals, feel free. My contact is on the description below. I think I only have 3 seats, so if you're interested, feel free to contact me. And yes, let's get into the video. So we will start with EUR-USD, and let's just quickly look at the daily time frame, because basically, especially as an intraday scalper, I like to start from the daily time frame. And if we look at what's going on EUR-USD, we have these 2 breaks of structure to the upside. We just had a lot of break of structure to the upside, but we can clearly see that the daily bullish order flow is still intact up to this point. So the idea actually is, okay, we had price mitigating the extremity of this previous low, right? We have this order block. Price now is continuing to push to the upside. So the idea is to see price actually taking out this daily previous high and continue the bullish order flow. Now, I know some people may look at, all the time they look at supply zones right here, try to sell down. But if the daily is already showing that the intention is bullish, that's what we want to do, mostly on the lower time frame. So if we look at the daily is bullish, right? We just had this beautiful 2 balls to the upside, and we're expecting price to take out this low. So if I drop down to 4-hour time frame, and we can look at the internal structure within that daily range, we can see that the structure is bullish right here. The 4-hour is heavily bullish. So we had this break to the upside. We have a ton of imbalances sitting below. Then price had a pullback and then broke structure. So this actually was inducement right here, because I saw some people actually taking a buy at this point of interest. Whenever you see this huge push towards the upside, and you have these fair value gaps, this was just huge imbalances sitting below, so it needed to be corrected. So usually this right here is a structure, what we call structural liquidity. That's inducements that institutions build, right? So they can come all the way down and then continue to push to the upside, right? So usually they pump huge amount of orders when they have liquidity right here. That's why we had these huge bearish candles into this point of interest, and then we continue to the upside. So this order block right here, I actually chose it from the 3 hours. So if I go to 3 hours time frame, you guys are able to see the price came exactly to this bearish candle right here, the last down candle before the up move. So now price is coming down, so we expect price to continue to push to the upside. So usually when price comes to my 4-hour, I like to drop down to M15 or M30 to look for a change of character. So if we look what's going on here, we just had that M15 change of character. We can consider this to be a previous structure low, high, and then price made a low. So we can say that, okay, this was the M15 change of character, right? Now, what is the order block here? As far as I can see, we have a fair value gap sitting below right here. I can say that, okay, we have this zone right here. So what I will be doing personally, I will be waiting for price to come down to this point of interest and probably maybe give me a second M15 break of structure to the upside, right? Because when I really look at the structure, everything is still very, very bearish although we just had this minor change of character on the M15. So I would love to see price coming down. Maybe we can drop down to M3 to look for our confirmation, change of character and all that stuff. But okay, right here we just had the M15 change of character within the hourly bullish order block. So once the week the week starts, we can look for price to come down, and then we drop down to our lower time frames to take an entry. Or we can possibly wait for another M15 break of structure. I think it will just solidify much better the bullish intention on the M15. Right, so that's it for EUR-USD. Let's move to the next page. So here we are on Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, we can quickly look at the weekly time frame, but before that, let's just go to the monthly. Right, so this is very, very, very important, because sometimes you can just get the whole picture, right? The whole high time frame intention. It can start from the monthly, right? Even though we are intraday scalpers, usually we just need the daily time frame just to get the clear picture what's the high time frame intention of price. But you can also start from the monthly as well, just to get the overall outlook on it. So if we look at the monthly, we just had this break right here. Actually, we had this break of structure here. So we had this break, price came back, mitigated the supply zone, gave a second break, mitigated. So we expect price to come all the way down and take out this previous week monthly week low. Right, so to continue the bearish order flow. So then we drop down to the weekly time frame. We want to see what's going on within that range, within that monthly range. So we see that on the within that monthly range, the bearish order flow is the order flow is still bearish, right? So it's going. We can see the weekly going with the monthly. So price came to this extremity right here. There was an unmitigated daily supply zone right here, and price used this previous high as inducement, and it failed to close above. So that was a sign of bullish sentiment in the market in depletion. We had the change of character right there. Price then came back. He actually used again this structure high as inducement to come to this extremity. I think this is the daily. So let me just drop down to the daily time frame, so we can perfectly see right here that once we had this break, then price broke structure again. So many people were setting limits right here, right, thinking that this right here was the liquidity sweep and then break. So price just took everybody out, came to this extremity, and now we're seeing the drop all the way to the downside. So we expect price from here to drop all the way down and possibly take out this weekly low, right, and then the monthly low that we just saw a couple minutes ago. So this is the daily. So let's drop down to the 4 hour. Once price comes to my daily, I like to drop down to 4 hour time frame. So this week I actually had a beautiful trade. I think it was a 1 to 36 on Aussie dollar this week, right? So we actually took on the group a trade right here. I actually sent beforehand for the students as well. So it was a beautiful 1 to 36 right here. I think it was this one right here. Then I got taken out. The remainder hit break even, and then it's dropping. So the idea, we started together, right, from the monthly all the way down to the 3 minutes time frame. But as far as we can see, price came here. If we look at this, the swing structure, we had this previous high, we had this low, and then we had this high. So what happened is that price just took out this low right here. Right, we just had the break of structure. So our expectation actually is to see price to continue to push to the downside. But right here, if I just mark the break of structure real quick, we can see that this was the swing structure that was broken. And I like to consider body breaks right here. So I'm still kind of expecting price to come to this supply zone right here, but we also have this one at the top right here, which was actually the decisional that caused the break of structure. So I'm still expecting to see actually price coming all the way up, right, to this point of interest, and then we can push to the downside. So this is the 4 hour. So by the time, as an intraday, I will want to actually do a counter trend, but for that I will need to see M30, for example, to change the structure to bullish. As of now, the structure is still bearish on the M30. So I will need to see price, for example, taking out this previous high right here. So then we can have the M30 continue to move to the upside. And then we can have the 2 breaks of structures. That's when I can buy all the way up to 4 hours. So this is how you counter trend with a high probability, because you just going with the high time frame. If high time frame has to push to the upside towards a supply zone, you want to be able to catch that move on the lower time frame, such as M30. So we wait for M30 to change to bullish. That's when we're going to buy all the way up to this 4-hour supply zone up here. Okay, so that's it for Aussie dollar. Let's move to the next pair. So here we have GU, and GU we can look at it from the let's just look at it from the weekly time frame. I mean, I think I can even start from the monthly. Yeah, that's right. So the monthly, we can see that we had this nice break of structure. We had the mitigation of the break of structure, and then we have the second break. So I'm expecting to see price. I'm expecting to see price coming into this supply zone, and then we have the continuation to the upside. And if I pull up the fib, for example, from this low all the way to this high, we can see that GU actually is going above 50%, which is a premium zone. So anything above that 50%, I'm willing to sell long term. So I'm still expecting to see price actually coming into this supply zone right here, and then we can see that continuation towards the downside. So if I drop down to the weekly time frame real quick, I think we have a supply zone right here. We can see these we can see these bullish candles right here, this last up candle before this strong down move right here. So I'm still expecting price to come within this weekly the supply zone. Once it comes here, I'll wait for price to give me a daily or 4-hour change of character, right? Once price taps that supply zone. So by the time being, if we go to daily time frame, the structure is still bullish on GU, right? So just a moment. Right here. So we can see that we had this break mitigation, then we have this second break of structure. I still have this point of interest, but also this one right here. So I'm on a trade right here. If I drop down to 4-hour time frame, yeah, that's the order block right here. This order block. This actually is the decision order block right here. So I'm still expecting to see price actually coming into this order block, and then we have the continuation towards the upside. And you know, I'm still on a sell right here. Currently it actually gave a 1 to 36 right here on GU. So I'm still holding this trade right here. It's currently running a 1 to 36.7. So my TP is set for this point of interest, so then we can actually see price going all the way to the upside. Actually, this trade, if you look at the YouTube community section, you know, you can actually see this trade. I actually documented this trade with the MT4, everything there. So yeah, I'm still expecting GU to come to this point of interest, and then we continue to buy all the way up to our monthly supply zone up here, right? So that's it for GU. Let's move to the next pair. Now, also New Zealand dollar is quite easy. I mean, if you just look at it for example, let's just quickly look at it from the monthly. We can see we had the break of structure here. Just real quick, break of structure. Then what happened? We need to see price coming back to mitigate. So we had the mitigation right here, perfect. Then what happened? We had another break of structure of this previous structure low. What happened? Price came to this supply zone right here. We had a mitigation. It came somewhere here. I believe there was something all the way up here to the extreme. So what are we expecting? Actually, we're expecting to see price to continue all the way down to take out this low. It didn't take that low yet, right? So that's what we're expecting on New Zealand dollars, to see price continue the move all the way to the downside. So now let's drop down to the weekly to see what's going on within this monthly range high, right, and monthly range low. So we want to look at the price action within that range. So if the monthly is bearish, we want the weekly to be bearish. So we drop down to the weekly time frame, and the weekly time frame is beautiful right here. We can see this break right here. Price did the exactly same thing with the dollar, came back to the extremity of this previous high, right? And then we had this change of character, break, mitigation. Then we had the second break of structure. So we can see the order flow right there shifting, and price actually now is mitigating a daily supply zone, this one right here, right? So we can see the price just came to this daily supply zone after this break of structure. So once price comes to our daily, we already know, right? We want to go down to the 4-hour time frame. So we at the 4-hour, what happened? We look at the swing structure. We had this high, we had this low, then price made this high. What happened? Price just came, violated that previous low. Now, me personally, I like to see body break. Even though maybe on the 2 hours, let's see if on the 2 hours we had a body break. I think, yes, we did. Yeah, we did have a body break right here. So we had a break of structure right here of this previous structure low. So usually once price comes to my daily, I like to wait for hourly to also shift from bullish to bearish. So we had the change of character. Price came to the extremity right here, broke. So we just had the second break. So this was just that confirmation of bullish order flow shift. Shift from bullish to bearish, right? So the order flow have shifted from bullish to bearish. Now, where are the supply zones right here? If I look up, we don't have anything, right? Pretty much everything has been, if we look at the efficiency of the price action here is efficient. We don't have fair value gap, everything has been mitigated, right? We had this break, price just came back mitigated. So I'm still seeing this point of interest up here, right? This is a very good supply zone that we can look at. So we will expect price to come all the way up to this supply zone, and then once price comes to my hourly, we can drop down to M15, wait for that change of character, and then we take the sell, right? So that's basically it for New Zealand dollar. Or all the way from the monthly to the hourly, everything has turned bearish. So that's how you establish your bias and the higher time frame intention. We know that it's bearish, so on the lower time frames, we want to be bearish for the long term. Right, that's it. Let's move to the last pair. So UJ quickly, just looking from the monthly. I mean, I think the outlook is very visible right here. Is that UJ has been pushing all the way to the upside. Now we had this break of structure. Price pulled back and then broke structure. What happened? Again, the same thing. It used this low as inducement. Why? Because this order block right here was left unmitigated and we had huge amount of imbalances. So price needed, there was a lot of reason as to why institutions had to push price all the way down. So once it came down to our weekly demand zone, we dropped down to the daily. We want to see the daily to turn from bullish to bearish. That's when we had this nice change of character right here, mitigation, second break of structure right here, right? So we can see that on the daily, the order flow has been bullish right here, right? So if I drop down, for example, to the 4 hour and we look at what's going on, we can see that we had this break, price mitigated this order block right here, then it continued to push all the way to the upside. It came back to this two bearish candles. This actually is a demand zone, right? Usually it comes in two right here, especially when you have two consecutive down candles and then up candle. Usually this is one right here. So we have the break, price just mitigated this demand zone, and now it's continuing to push to the upside. Now I really don't know if price will come all the way down to this demand zone right here, but I think that's the one that seems more reasonable for me, because we have a ton of imbalances sitting below. So we just had this push all the way to the upside. So we want to be bullish on USD JPY, right? I mean, for the long term, we just want to be bullish. So we just had another break of structure right here. This is the break right here. So we have a ton of imbalances. So if we have a lot of point of interest right here, we can say this one is a point of interest. But I really don't know if this one is very, very valid. I think this can be used as a structural liquidity for price to come all the way down, this one, and then we have the continuation towards the upside, right? So that's it for UJ. The order flow is bullish from the weekly, daily, all the way to the hourly, right? So that's it, guys, for the outlook. I hope I made the video a little bit shorter than the usual. And guys, don't forget the 50% discount will end next Friday. So if you're willing to join our mentorship, get the signals, I mean, just get this great stuff, feel free to let me know. My contact is on the description below. If you like the video, like and subscribe, guys, please. And I will see you guys on the next one.